What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to another edition of the What's Up Show. You're here with Billy Boy. Website is Mega Wham 1, and this is the last day of February 2026. I woke up this morning and hear that the United States and Israel is bombing Iran. This is always something terrible in the news. But look at something a little bit better. So remember, I'm trying to take and be like Kevin Samuels. He passed away several years ago. And on his desk, he had this thing right here. It looked like two sticks. And this thing is called the walking sticks. So what happens is, the way to start this is you take the longer stick and you bring it up to about right here, right? And then you let go of it. And then, just looking at this, we can see what's gonna happen. So, we're looking at it right now. And it looks like two sticks on a bipod. And it's gonna go around and around and around. And this is supposed to represent perpetual motion. This is supposed to go on and on and on. It's just so mesmerizing, just sitting here, just watching this thing go. And Kevin had one on his desk. And so I've got one here. You can get these on Amazon or at the store for like between $29 to like even all the way up to 80 something bucks. They're all the same. And it's an amazing thing. And so it's powered by 4 batteries. There's 4 batteries that are inside this thing right here. So you open up the bottom of it, there's 4 batteries in here. Now, what's going on to make that bar go around and around and around? Well, in the larger stick at the end, there's a battery. So if I was to take and come up here, right up here in this area right here, there's a magnet, a neodymium magnet right here. So, and inside there's another magnet right in this area right here, another powerful magnet. And then there's 2 sensors, a sensor over here and a sensor over here. Now what happens is, every time that magnet comes down, say like if it's the North Pole, then the North Pole on this magnet will kick in and it'll kick this stick around. So every time it goes down to the bottom down here, there's a magnetic pulse, and the magnetic pulse kicks that stick around. Now it would keep going around and around. It would go real fast, and eventually it would take and get unstable and cause this thing to wobble. But there are two sensors, one over here and one over here. And every time that magnet goes by, it senses how fast this thing is moving. So it senses between the 2 sensors how fast that magnet is going. So if it's going too fast, when that magnet comes around, it won't pulse. So it can tell how fast this thing is going based on how fast that magnet goes between the 2 points right there. Now this thing burns hardly no electricity at all. So it's advertised with 4 batteries. This thing could run for about a year. Now I've had this for about a year or so, and I put 4 batteries in it, and so far, the first 4 batteries, this thing has been going for about a year. And when the batteries do get kind of low, it won't swing all the way around. It'll just have a pendulum, and it'll just go back and forth if the batteries aren't really charged up. But if the batteries are all charged up like this one is, this thing will go all the way around in a circle. And I just sit here, and it's just a calming effect to sit here and just watch this. The swinging sticks go round and around and around, and it seems like it just goes forever. You know, isn't that nice? And Kevin had one on his desk. And so this is something that you could just sit here and just calm your mind. If you want to meditate or something like that, you could just meditate by sitting there and just looking at the sticks go round and around. And sometimes they don't go all the way up. They go almost all the way up. And then there's a counterbalance, a smaller stick. They got the smaller stick. I think the smaller stick is about 2/3 the size of the bigger stick. And so it kind of puts a counterbalance. It also has a little magnet in it too. And whenever it goes over top of the magnet that's located down here, it'll get a little pulse and it'll spin. But there's a lot of stuff going on because this magnet here could take and change poles. So when you have a magnet, you have a north pole and a south pole. And when you have two poles that are repelling, they push away from one another. So a north pole and a north pole pushes away, or a south pole and a south pole pushes away. But if you have poles that are opposite, they attract to one another. So a south pole and a north pole, or a north pole and a south pole attracts to one another. This here is using an opposing magnet. So it's actually pushing. Every time a magnet comes down to the center of that base, it's pushing it away. And I just sit here and just watch this. And I'm sure I'm glad that Kevin Samuels enjoyed having one of these on his desk. And you can see that this thing will just keep going around and around and around. So I just wanted to show you this and hope that you really enjoyed this show on the swinging sticks. Remember, they're very inexpensive. You can get some as cheap as $29.99. Or if you want one more expensive, I think there's some for $80. They might have a light or something in them so that you can see a little light, strobe light, as it goes around in a circle. But they got all kind of little electronic, magnetic, perpetual motion little devices that just moves around. It just keeps your eye busy, right? And I like just sitting here just looking at this, and when I want to think or have deep thoughts about something, I'll just sit here and just watch this. It'd be nice if this thing could glow it in the night. If it glowed in the night, that would really be something. But there it is, ladies and gentlemen, the swinging sticks. And I hope you enjoyed the show on the What's Up Show. I am Billy Boy, and my website is Ebony Man TV or Mega Wham 1. All right, and I hope you enjoyed today's show on the swinging sticks. Bye now. Oh, and remember to subscribe, push that like button, put some comments down, and take the survey at the end of the video. All right, so we'll just go ahead and just watch this for a minute or two, and we'll call it a day. Swinging sticks on What's Up, What's Up, What's Up?